Welcome to the Digital Self-Defense Podcast, where you will learn the fastest path to a safer digital life. Makani will teach you 3 simple safety skills that will help you stay ahead of the bad guys, protect what matters, and keep up with changes in technology, even AI. Hey, I'm Nick Jackson, here with my good buddy and master guardian, Makani Mason. Woo, let's go. And it just so happens that today is episode for our podcast 111. Always like
or 111, as Frodo
That's
would
right,
say.
your favorite one. That's right. That's
right.
Your favorite number.
Yep.
So I'm going to say this is episode 111 just for Makani. Yes.
Thank you.
You might have to give some of those other non-techies like me maybe a reference. I know the movie, of course, because I'm an avid reader, as you know, but yeah. So today, Makani, we're going to be talking about master keys.
Yep. Safety skill 3.
Safety skill 3. I apologize. Safety skill 3. Remember, we're working on 3 safety skills, and we're gonna be perfecting these and working on really honing these skills in. So, master keys.
Okay.
Where are we gonna start, man?
This time, no funny great alliteration of what it's not today. We're starting with the one sentence formal definition today.
All right.
So, master keys means identifying which parts of your digital life unlock the most doors, then protecting them first and best.
Okay.
So, there's still some possible wordsmithing, but, anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
It's going to be one sentence. Let's read it again. Read a little slowly so our listeners can truly chew through that, because this is a big point.
Master keys means identifying which parts of your digital life unlock the most doors, and then protecting them first and best.
All right, man. All right. Let's get into it. That's meat and potatoes, man. I can chew this up. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, and I tried to, with the 3 skills, the first one's protection partners. It's kind of about the people. First 2, or, number 2 is confident awareness. That's kind of about you and your mindset, your own personal skills, whatever. And master keys is somewhat about the tools and the actual digital things. Mm-hmm. And so there's kind of division that way too. And this was the one that I would say we've easily talked the most about compared to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously we've talked about the master key specifically with email a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I've realized is we want to, so as we focused on just email, I've realized that in order to focus on email effectively, we also need to look at password manager. We need to expand that a little bit, because even though, anyway, they're both really important, but there's also our digital world is so much a part of our modern life.
Yeah.
There's a shockingly high number of things that we could call master keys that need at least some level of protection.
Okay.
So there's email, there's password manager. Those are 2, most fundamental, but there's a bunch. And so part of what this safety skill involves is prioritizing. That's kind of one of the big things. That's why I talk about identifying which parts unlock the most doors. It's one of the ways that we can take the whole realm of everything that we could think about and focus on protecting and shrink it down to, okay, what's the most important? And one of the best ways to identify what's most important is to think about it in terms of, as I like to say, it's master keyness.
It's master keyness. Oh, man.
I like to take words, add ness on the end, I have warmnesses and, I eat breadnesses. Okay. So we have, we now have, we're going to look at things through the lens of master keyness. Okay.
Master keyness.
Yeah. We're copyrighting that one.
All right. Copyrighted. Master Keyness belongs to Makani Mason. He said it first.
Okay. So seriously though, we take each, login, device, whatever thing, digital thing, and evaluate it in terms of its potential use as a master key.
Okay.
So
okay.
if we're going to avoid, the NES silliness. So
I like the keenness.
yeah. So, but the idea is, it's a very common idea. We want to, different ways you could say it is look for the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
The biggest bang for your buck, whatever. We're trying to be practical and efficient.
Yeah.
So, for example, though, the most significant master key we've always talked about email as really being the master key.
Right.
And, in large part because people tend to overlook that aspect of email. It's because they use it daily. It's just kind of run of the mill. And, anyway, email is still absolutely critical. But as I mentioned before, I wanted to emphasize this with Password Manager is even though everybody recognizes Password Manager as a master key,
yeah,
for whatever reason, and there's reasons, like, and we'll get into that in a second, it doesn't seem to change the behavior as often as I was initially thinking it would.
Right.
And so, like, I know people who, they've told me, yeah, I store all my passwords in a Google Doc.
Ooh.
I know. That's right. It's painful. And
yeah.
So, but then also, like, for example, another one that I highly recommend against, but lots and lots of people do because of storing your passwords in the Google Chrome browser when it offers to store your passwords.
Right.
Now, of course, that one, it's like totally understandable. It's zero condemnation at all because, that's the easiest thing. They're really pushing it. And most of all, it's far from obvious why that choice of password manager is a bad one.
Right.
So that's my long way of explaining why now, instead of just having email as like my top tier master key,
yeah,
I kind of put email and password manager as the equals because
as the equals,
for number one spot. They're both absolutely critical.
If we're using this is a question I have. If we're using a good password manager and we're consistent with using that, we shouldn't have to worry too much about our email being compromised, correct? If we keep that
because
password.
you're using unique passwords everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, no. So because because with email you can do password resets.
That's right.
Right? Now, because you're using unique passwords everywhere, that gives a whole lot of extra protection to your email account because that means if they, steal your other random password, that doesn't give them your email password.
Right.
So, it makes a huge difference. But your email being compromised still, no matter, even if you use a password manager, remains 100% top tier, top two master keys.
Okay, perfect. That was the clarification I was looking for. So, okay.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about today is different kinds of master keys.
Okay.
Because with all these safety skills, the idea is to keep it focused enough in concept that you can see the notion and apply it in a lot of ways, but have it flexible enough that it's useful in a lot of ways and can be adaptable because technology changes so fast, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to strike that balance. And so one of the things that I think about is with email and password manager, the way they're a master key is they both unlock access to other things, other accounts primarily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But there's other kinds of unlocking, you could say, as well. So, and we'll talk about these in future episodes, but just one example for today is impersonation.
Mm-hmm.
So, say you have a Facebook account. Now, that can also be a master key for unlocking other accounts if you sign in with Facebook at places. But let's say for a moment you don't do that, and you're careful about what you post. You don't really feel like you put too much personal information on there, and so in your mind, my Facebook account, it's not that critical,
Yeah.
right? But a different way to think about that is, yes, there's no risk to you maybe necessarily, or doesn't feel like it. But what if someone could pretend to be you on Facebook and then send messages to people that trust you? You share a link with them. That's going to be a big problem that you're going to care about just as much. It just may not think about, it's a different way of thinking about it, right?
Right.
But that opens up a whole, like that in the unlocking metaphor, that's unlocking the door to all your friends and family that you care about, or at least the ones you're connected to on Facebook, right?
Right.
And so that's a pretty big master key as well.
Right.
So anyway, it's just a way of thinking about things, again, to help us prioritize what's most important. Why do we care about our Facebook account and keeping it critical? It might not be because it unlocks a bunch of other things, but it might be because we want to keep people we care about safe too.
Right.
Because I've had a lot of people, they got their Facebook account hacked. They posted something on there, and then, later on, once they figured it out and got it back, they, are posting apologies about it, right? Because obviously nobody wants to do that, and they wouldn't have done it. But yeah. So of course, the other half of master keys is not only identifying which ones are most important, but then adding the layers of protection for those. So, and that's kind of the general theme of everything going forward is identifying. So along the lines kind of the digital self-defense and the dojo, Bulletproof Dojo in general and whatever, is if I was going to take our mission and boil it down to one sentence, and I'm still workshopping this a little bit, but is to help you identify the next most important step you can take and help you actually take it.
Yeah.
So just one step.
Sense.
Right? Like we don't want to overwhelm, just, one step at a time, identify that one that's most important for you specifically, help you take it. And master keys are one of the really useful tools for doing that because, what's the master key that, most important in your life, and are you protecting it well? If not, well, there's your next step.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So the last thing I'll share is actually, this is an evolution for me because I don't know if you remember, but we did a seed launch where I did a bunch of individual calls with some seed launch members.
Yeah.
And talked to them. And there was, one, it was a couple them, and was talking to them. And one of the questions they had for me, because we talked about Password Manager, we also talked about email, and they asked me, well, which one should I start with? And I wasn't sure. I honestly didn't know. And I told them that. I was like, oh, it's a good question. I was really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so it's been, kind of on my mind ever since then. And that's one of those things is like, that's a critical question for me to be able to answer. Like that's one of the key pieces of helping people is identifying that. And so having I don't know answer, I was not happy about, but it was a good learning experience.
Right.
And so that's, what I've realized now, just to be clear on that particular one, is generally speaking, I would say Password Manager. Like I'd say, let's get a good email password, but then beyond that, all the rest of the advanced email strategies, we can wait on because so many of them depend on having a password manager to fully utilize them.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I have answers now, and it's and so that's part of what I want to keep working on though, is having all the answers of like, okay, so for your circumstances, where you are and what your priorities are, what is the next step? I want to have a good idea and be flexible, but have a roadmap of what's the next most important step, because that's that's really kind of what it boils down to. What the service I want to offer overall to people is identifying the most important step for you and then helping you do it.
Right. Absolutely.
So anyway, kind of, sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent, but I just, after we went through the safety skills, we'll do more episodes on it, but it just really made me think about, because this one just had such an obvious fit in that strategy. And I'm really excited about that kind of refining of our approach to helping people. So
yeah, I love it. I mean, now that's exactly it. Is these are tailored solutions, tailored for you, and we're going to teach you the skill set to make sure that you get accomplished what you want to. I love it.
Okay. Any other, I guess that's your wrap up.
That was my summation. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Before you go, I want to invite you to a free digital self-defense coaching call with me. If you know you should be doing more to stay safe online, but you're not sure where to start, this is for you. I'll help you take just one step forward in your digital security, the one step that's most important for you. Sign up for free at helpmegetsafe.com. Again, that's helpmegetsafe.com. Talk to you soon.